and welcome to your weekly briefing on SWBN News Watch. I am Chimala Chike. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our first story is a promising update on the case of 13-year-old Christian girl, Nayab Gill, who was forcefully converted to Islam and married off to a 30-year-old Muslim man named Saddam Hayat. Voice of the Matters Canada reported that the Supreme Court of Pakistan agreed on 29th of August this year to hear a petition on behalf of Nayab Gill. At the heart of the petition is the girl's age. Pakistani law specifies that any sexual relations with a girl under the age of 16 is rape and punishable by death. In contradiction, Islamic law states that any consenting girl who has reached puberty can marry. The family's lawyer argues that even if allowed under Islamic law, Nayab was not of legal age to make such a decision without consent from one of her guardians. The Supreme Court, in deciding to hear this case, has recognized the disconnect between the penal laws and Islamic Sharia laws over the concept of adulthood. Consequently, the court has called on the government to respond to this discrepancy and resolve the issue by enacting legislation governing the age of marriage. Since Nayab's first marriage in 2021, the Islamabad High Court ruled in March 2022 the marriage under the age of 18 is prohibited even if an individual claims to do so of their own free will. It is hoped that this ruling would direct the nation's government to establish a minimum age for marriage across the country. Forceful conversions and marriages of underage girls are far too common for impoverished religious minorities in Pakistan. In most cases, such families have little to no recourse against the influence of their employers and community leaders. Voice of the Matters wants believers around the world to pray that the hope and resolve of the Gill family will be strengthened in light of the Supreme Court's recent decision to hear the case. Voice of the Matters also asks believers to pray for the courts, pray that the courts will rule equitably and that the governing leaders of Pakistan will enact just legislation that protects the country's most vulnerable citizens regardless of the pressure they may receive to do otherwise. While you take note of this prayer request, please stay tuned for our next story. On Nigeria's Independence Day, Fulani herdsmen terrorists killed 8 Christians in Plateau State, including 2 children, while wounding 5 others. In a press statement, Davidson Malison, spokesperson of the Irigwe Development Association, disclosed that the assailants attacked Du village in the Bassa County's Kwao district with 2 children among those slain and the wounded requiring hospital treatment. He explained that the Fulani militia stormed the community on Sunday evening, positioned themselves and sprayed bullets on the bodies of innocent Christians who were asleep, including on children between the age of 9 and 17 years old. Malison called on the Nigerian government to urgently task security personnel to arrest the assailants. As he puts it, the terrorists are known to the Nigerian government and they are not ghosts nor invisible. They had made threatening statements, particularly to our communities in the recent past. He identified those slaughtered as 9-year-old Shara Danjuma, 11-year-old Williams Danjuma, 17-year-old Wala Boy, 18-year-old Avogoji, 25-year-old Afiniki Sunday, 28-year-old Gani Douglas, 35-year-old Johanna Zewi, and 38-year-old Tingwe Nko. 5 of those who survived with wounds were between 14 and 25 years old. Responding to the terror attack, Malison added that we are not only saddened by this unfortunate development and occurrence, but completely depressed and broken-hearted, knowing fully how peaceful and hospitable Christians have lived with their Muslim neighbors in Plateau State. He went further to say this terrorist attack is no doubt part of a ceaseless attempt to annihilate Christians of Rigwe ethnic extraction. Recall that Nigeria led the world with the highest number of Christians killed for their faith in 2022, and that's according to the Open Doors 2023 World Watch List report. It also led the world with the highest number of Christians abducted, sexually assaulted or harassed, forcefully married or physically or mentally abused, and it had the most homes and businesses attacked for faith-based reasons. According to Open Doors, Nigeria is currently the sixth most difficult place to be a Christian in the world. Back in 2009, someone had asked if Nigeria was the capital of hell. In 2023, Bayo Oluwasomi answered in an opinion piece that read, "Nigeria, welcome to hell." The article argues that hell is where most Nigerians are living today because of their closeness to hellish sufferings. Nigeria is the only country today that best fits the biblical description of hell. Oluwasomi, like many Nigerians, believe that hope has become a scarce commodity. As he put it, because of the loss of hope, Nigeria is on a deathbed. And that makes me want to know if you still have hope that Nigeria will become a country where God's people flourish like a palm tree. If you still believe, I want you to leave a word of comfort to someone in the comments. Yet from now, we want to look back and say, surely the Lord delivered us from the shackles of hell. In Southeast Asia, officials of the Laos government disrupted the Sunday worship service at a house church while threatening to arrest them, a rights group said in a press statement. The rights group, also identified as a human rights watcher for Laos religious freedom, recounted that a village deputy chief and local security officials in the Kampo village of Sevenakat province disrupted the Sunday service on the 1st of October and ordered the church leader Saad Omelnse and 17 other Christians to stop the worship. They added that the gathered Christians were threatened with arrest and a huge fine if they refused to stop the service. Threats were made on the assumption that the church members had angered spirits or gods by leaving them for Christianity. The officials also threatened to impose large fines on the Christians if other people in the village became ill or died. In addition, the rights group said 2 Christians from a nearby village who had come to the service were threatened with automatic arrest if they rejoined the church for worship. According to the group, and as quoted by Morning Star News, pressure began when a family in the Animist village became the first Christians there in 2019, followed by 180 lost villagers who accepted Christ over the next 2 years. All through 2022 and 2023, the local government subjected Christians to intimidation, threats, and coercion, forcing many to abandon their newfound faith until today. Out of the 180 new converts, only 3 families amounting to 15 Christian believers remained in the faith. Laos is ranked 31st on Open Doors' 2023 World Watch list of countries where it is most difficult to be a Christian. Open Doors say communist authorities consider most church meetings illegal gatherings. In Laos, Christians live under intense scrutiny. A final story is on religious suppression in China. Authorities in the Henan province raided the Yabo Academy, ordering the Christian school to cease its operation. This crackdown also comes with the imposition of a hefty fine of $28,000 against the school administrators. Peter Winter reported this story earlier this month. According to a news source, documents supplied to human rights activists at the end of September confirmed that the Christian school Yabo Academy in the Jinshua district of Changchao, Henan province, was raided and ordered to cease operations. Those running it have also been hit with a maximum fine of 200,000 Chinese yuan, the close equivalent of $28,000. This is an enormous sum for the struggling independent Christian community. The Bureau of Ethnic and Administrative Affairs of the Jinshua district of Changchao City issued the advance notice of administrative penalty, which clarifies that the fine has been imposed based on Article 70 of the Religious Affairs Regulation of 2017. Article 70 stipulates, among others, that when religious education and training is carried out without authorization, the Religious Affairs Department, together with the relevant departments, should order it to discontinue the activities, may impose a concurrent fine of between 20,000 and 200,000 Chinese yuan, and should confiscate the unlawful gains, if any, where a crime is found. Criminal responsibility is pursued in accordance with the law. In the case of Yabo Academy, the maximum penalty has been imposed. Henan province accounts for the highest percentage of Christians not affiliated with government-controlled three-self church. This situation mightily disturbs the Chinese Communist Party, hence the harsher punishment meted against all independent Christian activities in the province. And with that, dear viewer, we conclude this edition of the SWBN News Watch. Thanks for being with us tonight. Till we see you next Thursday, 9 p.m. I'm Chima Chike. Stay hopeful. Bye now.